So, if you didn't know, each group of insecure attachment styles has common core wounds. And this is just another big North Star that will help you in your healing journey to help you figure out exactly what you need to heal once you understand what your specific attachment style is. There is a large number of core wounds that exist, and it is possible to have just one or two, or to have 20 plus core wounds. The attachment style with the most core wounds is overwhelmingly the fearful avoidant attachment style. And today, we're going to talk about one core wound specifically that is extremely common if you have a fearful avoidant attachment style. I titled this video, I am unimportant, I don't matter, I am disrespected core wound, because we are talking about three variations of really the same core wound. Real quick, if you're unfamiliar with what a core wound is, a core wound is an incredibly deeply embedded maladaptive belief ingrained in our subconscious mind, usually in childhood, due to experiences we had, often repetitively, in pivotal relationships in the beginning of our lives. Usually this means with our parents or caregivers, but it could also be with a coach or teacher or someone in close proximity to us for an ongoing period of time. Our brain is much more neuroplastic in the beginning of our lives, and it's almost like a sponge. This is when the foundation of beliefs about the world and relationships are formed. If we had good enough experiences in childhood, then we probably have a fairly healthy belief system, and that will be the basis for a secure attachment style. But if there was some trauma or neglect there, we undoubtedly have some core wounds to clean up. The more extreme the trauma, the stronger the core wounds, and the more numerous the core wounds. The good thing is that our brain has neuroplasticity throughout our entire lives. So whenever you come upon this information, whatever age, you can heal them and live a life free from them. What is the importance of healing core wounds? Having just one core wound can have a significant impact on your mental health. If you're walking around all day, having different situations in life trigger a core wound, what does it do? Every time you're emoting to this extremely painful belief as if it is reality. A core wound will have you telling yourself painful stories and having thoughts that spring off of this deeply ingrained belief, and then you have a neurochemical reaction to that. If you're doing this all day long, it can cause depression, and your actions in your day-to-day life will follow as it clouds the room you have in your brain for joy, planning, dreaming, and that's a very self-abusive way to live. If you could externalize these thoughts and this was a person following you around, telling you these awful things, that person would be a pretty abusive person. Core wounds will fill in the blanks in uncertain situations for you. Let's look at an example. Someone with an I am rejected core wound is going to automatically start storytelling to themselves and assuming rejection at the slightest indication of it, or in uncertain situations in which rejection is a possibility. If someone doesn't respond the way that they want, well, they must be getting rejected. If they don't hear back from someone, well, they're probably about to be rejected. Core wounds put you at a significant disadvantage in life, affecting your confidence and self-esteem. Healing core wounds and living with the absence of these painful foundational beliefs is a pivotal part of healing an insecure attachment style. So let's take a deep dive into one of the common core wounds of the fearful avoidant attachment style, the I am unimportant, I don't matter, I am disrespected core wound. The first thing that I want to point out is that with core wounds, there are slight nuances, and you want to pay attention to what resonates for you. Let's use an example of these three manifestations to illustrate what I mean. In this example, you are wanting your romantic partner's undivided attention to tell them something important, but they're preoccupied and have an imperfect moment where they kind of give you the brush off because they're wrapped up in something. Let's say their attention is consumed with doing something on their computer. In this moment, when you feel brushed off, if you have one of these manifestations of this wound, It's going to multiply any pain or bother you would have over that situation. When a core wound is touched on, it always exacerbates any negative feelings we would have had about a situation. Whatever you make it mean about yourself, whatever resonates most with you, specifically is what you are going to want to rewire later on after you've done some reflecting and figure out what your specific wounding is. You may have made it mean that you're unimportant, and therefore everything is going to come before you, and everything is more important, or that you don't matter to this person. And that can be very painful if this person matters to you. Or maybe you make it mean that they don't respect you enough to make you important, to give you their undivided attention or time, and so it touches an I am disrespected core wound that you have. These different manifestations have similar root causes. A common theme is that you grew up somehow with your feelings not being taken into consideration, i.e., your feelings were not important. This often is not something that was outright verbalized to you, but rather it was demonstrated in some way and emotionally communicated to you, and you were made to feel that way. This can come from having incredibly strict parents who rule with an iron fist, and you have to do what they say. You have to meet their high expectations, which don't take your feelings or needs into consideration, and that's that. It can come from abusive situations in which, obviously, if you're in, it can make you as a child feel small and insignificant and can make you feel obviously outright disrespected if someone has abusive behavior towards you. It can come from maybe if you did speak up, whether it was on your needs, preferences, opinion about something, that opinion or you speaking up was actively demeaned in some way, and someone was very hard on you, which programmed in the message that your needs or opinions are just not important or respected. A big reason for this core wound is an imbalance of positive affirmation or positive reinforcement versus harsh punishment and negative reinforcement. It can very much come from having to fit inside someone else's box and be in life what this person's expectations of exactly what they think you should be. When this wound is touched on, it can cause feelings of despair, deep sadness, frustration, annoyance, anger, and lead someone to either overcompensate or just automatically feel defeated and small and just automatically assume that's who they are and what they are in their important relationships. If you have this core wound, you may feel very hurt if you think, for example, your romantic partner is brushing you off. You may not speak up and be vulnerable about your needs or desires within a relationship. And you will chronically not be making pivotal things in your relationship to yourself important. Well, I hope this sheds some light on the I am unimportant, I don't matter, I am disrespected core wound. Identifying core wounds and then giving a step-by-step plan in healing specific core wounds is something that I help my clients with in great detail. So if that is of interest to you, please visit my website and fill out a detailed message via the contact form. Thank you so much for being here. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit that bell notification if you haven't so you don't miss any future content. Thanks again. Take care.